I hope all of you can see my screen. So, as you can see, there are some few things you'll see on Claude. There are projects, artifacts, and customized. So for those who haven't ever used Claude, artifacts are, let's say, the things you create in Claude. For example, if you create websites on Claude, it saves them under artifacts. So if you maybe use Claude regularly and you forget where maybe you created something, they're still in artifacts. So we start with skills and connectors. Let's start with skills. What are skills? Skills are, let's say, in simple terms, they are like saved prompts. Mostly in the earlier days of using AI, you had to learn something called prompt engineering, where you will learn how to structure your prompt so that you can get good results from AI. With skills, you have to prompt less because skills are like, you've already saved, they're like saved prompts. They act like rules when you're doing something on Claude. So in skills, there are skills I'd like most of you to use. One skill is called skill creator. This skill helps you create new skills. There's MCP builder, which you will, it's not for this session though, this one is a bit more technical. There's canvas and there's web artifacts. This one are already built skills by Anthropic that are there for people to use. So let's use a canvas design as our test skill. We test this skill. So when you press this plus, you add that skill to your skills. Now let's come to connectors. Connectors are, as I began, I told you about MCP. Okay. So, pardon? Okay. When I began, I talked about MCP. So connectors are basically already built MCPs that you can use. For example, you can see Canva, Figma, Microsoft, and Gmail. So we're going to test with Canva. So when you press, let's say, let me show you how to connect, let's say, Google Drive with your Claude account. So you press plus, and then it redirects you to choose the account. So you choose the account you want to use, and then you press continue, then continue. From there, you can check connectors. You can see we already have Canva, Gmail. The one we have added is Google Drive. Okay, let's come back to skill. For skills, we have, if you can remember, we have added canvas design. Now, let's come to charts and let's do an example. Let's do an example now. We're going to, let's say, we are creating a poster for selling shoes. So we're going to come to chat and say create.
Asha.
Yes.
Kindly wait, Winnie Jerry. Yes, thank you. I'll continue, Asha.
Okay, let's say create for me a poster on Canva for shoe shop. Shoe shop selling Nikes. Then you wait for it. Okay. One thing you need to know, skills and connectors are available for everyone who has a cloud account. You don't need to pay for Pro or Max. It's available. The only thing that's not available is Cowork. Cowork is it's like agentic. It's part of agentic AI. It takes your skills and connectors to another level. So this is like beginner. We're going to do it. Then it has generated, and then tell it to create a folder in Canva and save them. So you can see it's creating the folder. All the four have been saved. Also, one thing you need to know is that this connecting apps and doing all sorts of things like designing, they take a lot of tokens. So you need to learn how to manage tokens. Tokens are, you see, artificial intelligence, how it works is, let's say this sentence folder created is a 2-word sentence. This 2-word sentence can be broken into 3 parts called tokens, which artificial intelligence uses. So by tokens, I mean, token management, I mean, with skills, you're able to save on tokens because as you can see how short our prompt is. And like if we maybe wrote a full prompt of around 100 words compared to a very short. So it's actually good. Let's check if it's there. Click the link, open the link. As you can see, they've been saved to Canva. So it's easy to connect apps. Also, let's do another experiment. We connect Gmail. I've already connected Gmail. So we tell it to check emails. So as you can see, it gets all the recent emails. Also, if one thing I need to tell you is it gets the recent emails. If you tell it to get all emails, it's going to cost you a lot. Especially if you're on a free account, you have to learn how to know the limits. So let's. Is there any questions so far?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So umetuonyesha skills, umetuonyesha connectors. So swali yangu
Yeah.
ni, when you are loading a skill or plugging it in, I don't know, and you choose Canva, so
Yeah.
there's also the connector itself, the Canva app. So do you choose one or do you choose both?
Okay, you can choose both the skill and the connector. It's
Mhm.
choosing both actually makes your work easier.
Mhm.
Because in the skill, let's say you're a person who likes, when you're designing on Canva, you like certain templates. And each time, let's say you don't have the skill, you have to prompt Claude with the same template you want it to use. But when you use the skill, you can modify the skill in such a way that each time Claude creates a project on Canva, it uses your exact template, the way you want it to come out.
Okay. And what if I also wanted to create product designs and I wanted to use Figma? So is that a workflow I have to create? Niambie, I don't know, create on Figma? Something of
Yeah.
this.
You can. Okay, so each connector is for each individual app.
Mm-hmm.
So if you come to connectors, let's search for new connectors like Figma. You can see Figma is still there. So when you press the plus, it will add that connector. It will prompt you to accept it to connect. So you don't need the Figma API.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Send.
Okay. So
Asha,
I've sent yeah.
I was thinking, could you perhaps create a skill using the skill creator? For example, just create a skill for prompt engineering, and then you show them how to summon it in chat.
So let's come back to skills. One of our skills, we have a skill creator skill that will help us to create good skills. So we come to create skill, create with Claude. So it already comes with a prompt. So you just press enter, then it will ask you questions. Prompt engineer. So it will ask questions to be able to get the skill correct. So what should the skill do? It can write prompts, improve and rewrite existing prompts, evaluating prompt quality. You can also choose it to explain prompt techniques. Maybe if you want it to do something else, you can prompt it to do something else. So I pressed skip. Prompting context will it cover Claude, OpenAI, general LLMs, and you can choose that. Prompt, it can choose you can choose refined prompt plus explanation of changes. So for this test, let's choose refined prompt only.
So as it's doing that, I just want to add that when you're creating a skill on Claude, it has to be, it's more of a conversation that you have with Claude for you to create this skill. So if you want to create a skill on any issue that you're having with AI, whether it's prompting, that is prompt engineer, or maybe you want to create a skill that technically helps you design things in a certain way, it's a matter of conversation. So in your conversation with Claude, you just tell it, I want to create a skill that helps me do ABCD. Then at the end of that main prompt, you can ask it maybe if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, that would make you, or rather would help you create this skill better, please let me know. Then it will ask you questions as it has already done here. So it's a matter of conversation. Just wanted to add that.
So it's done. So it wants, let's test it with a broken prompt. So let's come to maybe Gemini to generate a prompt. So generate a prompt to design a simple website. So we copy the prompt and come back to Claude. Then we paste it. Then are the skills available on phone or just the laptop? They are available on phone. They are all available in phone. So don't worry. Actually, on phone it's easy to connect the connectors and the skills. Here, as you can see, it has refined the prompt. So as you can see, our previous prompt was just very simple. It just said aesthetic, color palette, topography, and the structure. So on Claude, it's defined everything, including the specific color. It's kind of cleaned the prompt. So let's test the prompt. Also, if you also want to get better results, you can also create maybe if you can see here, it uses the default design skill that comes with Claude. So this one, I didn't add it, it comes as default. So it will ask you questions. So you answer the questions and let it to generate. Are there people who have questions? In the meantime, you can go back to this one. You tell it to check the email again, how to show you something. So so as you can see, I sent this is a received email. So we're going to tell it to reply and reply as follows. Reply. Okay, we'll tell it to reply to the email. Let's say thank you for the reminder. So when you are, let's say, for emails, it will always ask you to create a new draft email. So because some actions require your input to, let's say, allow it. Because some due to safety reasons, it will always ask you to say yes, because there are people who have reported that AI has accidentally wiped out their files on their laptop. So it's good to always check on what it's telling you to do. So it has saved it to drafts. So as you can see, it can read your emails and create drafts. Let's go back to our website and see. Is there anyone who has a question or a clarification? Also, you can get skills online. You don't need to maybe use the available skills. You can come to GitHub. You can search for cloud skills. As you can see, there are very many people who have skills online. So let's try marketing skills for Claude. And do a okay, this one is a skill online, which you can get from GitHub. Also, it's also good to when you're getting skills online, especially from GitHub, you need to check. For example, you can see here it's 9.3K stars, 12.9K stars, 44.8K. It's good to check on these stars because some people are very malicious. You can think you've gotten a skill and you end up in adding malware, especially if you're using Claude agents. It's you might end up adding malware to your system.
So, Asha,
Yes.
perhaps as you wait, are you sure there's no other question? Mko sawa nyi wote?
I have a question. Umeinsist sana.
Uliza.
So Asha, so
Yes.
we are using Claude, and I believe, of course, the capabilities, correct me if I'm wrong, are probably far much superior compared to ChatGPT, sindio? But even if you're a skill, can you also do the same with ChatGPT? Ama una feel like there's difference in the output? And if there is a difference in the output, what have you noticed?
Okay. Currently, I haven't seen if you're able to create skills on GPT. The only thing I've able to see is you can give it like custom commands. You can tell it to you can save it somewhere. I'm forgetting what it's called. It's a custom command where each time it gives you a response. It can be this response is structured to the way you want. So it's not necessarily a skill, it's like a guideline.
Yeah.
But
Asha.
also,
I think you're referring to a system prompt.
Yeah, so
system
the
prompt,
reason
yes.
why I'm asking, because like the process you've gone through, of course, Cloudinate, it's cut it shorter, way shorter, but it's more or less like standard operating procedures. So you give specific prompts or processes in terms of like, this is what I want you to do, and this is how I want the outcome to look like. So personally, I've done the same using ChatGPT, but Nimona Claude, like it's far much faster and it's very precise as so long as you give it what exactly it is that you want. So I was just wondering, can ChatGPT do the same? Claude is superior. Claude,
Okay, if you really insist on using ChatGPT, there's a way you can use Claude skills together with ChatGPT, but that requires you to use Claude Code, the Claude CLI.
Okay.
Use Claude on command line, but that one requires you to not use your GPT account, rather to use your GPT API.
I think, Asha, I think Akinyi, there's something called custom GPTs on ChatGPT.
Yeah,
they're also custom GPTs.
So custom GPTs are basically versions of skills in Claude, but the only downside to custom GPTs is that you cannot create custom GPTs on the free plan on ChatGPT. You need to be on the paid plan.
On the paid plan.
Yeah. But technically, custom GPTs work similarly or very closely to how skills work.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Also, as you can see, our prompt has worked very well. If you can see my screen, this is our website that we've generated. Actually, it's professional grade. If someone was to create for you this website, it will be probably around 20,000 to 30,000. Yeah. Anyone knows any questions? I'm avoiding going to technical stuff because of this is the first session.
So you guys, the other how many of you? More than 25. Muko sawa? Hakuna swali?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good on this side. Well, tumefika niko sawa.
Haya, nani mwingine amehang tumsaidie?
Hello.
Hi Rosie.
Hi, mkwaje?
Poa.
Niko na swali. Kuna time I was trying to build a skill.
Asha? Oh, wait. Rosie? Rosie? Hello? Rosie? I think we've lost her. I can't hear anything from her. Can you guys hear what Rosie is saying, or is it just me? I don't know. Dennis?
No, we can't.
Okay. Because I was wondering why I wasn't hearing her. Okay.
For me, I think mkianza hizi kama mkianza anti-gravity na maybe IDEs kama Codex kuconnect kwa IDE inaweza taka kuwa interested because situmiangi
Ah,
cloud sana because ya hiyo limited version,
mhm,
but for hizo ma Codex kwa IDE na anti-gravity inaweza
mhm,
taka kulearn more because ni very useful especially kuunda ma APIs nini.
mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, Asha, there is a
Yeah.
question there in the comments. Dennis, tumesikia, tutapanga hiyo.
The best skill I have is something to do with trading. Especially if it's more of stock analysis and all that. That's the best skill I've used so far because also skills act like rules. So let's say if you have a stock trading skill, you can tell it maybe to give you the top 10 stocks, how long, why it will perform well, and how long it will perform for, maybe how long you should hold it for, maybe it will give you advice maybe for 5 months, others for 12 months, maybe a year or two. Yeah, that's the best one so far I have.
I think for me, the best one I have is I created a skill. There is a reason why for every student who I teach in my classes, I always tell them to create a skill on prompt engineering because there is nothing as powerful as a good prompt when it comes to these LLMs. So for me, my favorite one is a very, very powerful prompt engineering skill that has helped me greatly. So at your own time, now that you've been taught how to create a skill, you can start by creating a simple skill like a prompt engineering skill, basically a skill that improves your prompts every time. So that now you can use that advanced prompt on ChatGPT, on Manas, on Claude itself, wherever you want. Yeah. Any other question? Any other question? So you guys are good? Okay. Okay, so Asha,
I have
okay.
a question, Ed.
Yes.
I have a question. I've seen an example of what you've just created, like a portfolio. And I'm a bit concerned. You may also guide otherwise. I'm in another group where they're trying to make a website for that particular group, and the layout is kinda similar. And I don't know, is it like you should be specific when asking, like Cloud to maybe create for you a website or a portfolio? Is it like you should ask it to use certain design or something, and if you don't, it gives you like this generic type?
Okay, Asha, maybe you can answer that.
Okay, this output is because of the skill. So let me show you something. When you come to skills, our skill is where is it? Okay. I can't find the skill. But when you come to the skill, there's a file called a .md file. This .md file, it contains the skill that it contains like the rules that the skill obeys. So if you compare it to, let me tell it to show me the .md. Okay, so as you can see, this one is what it does. This one is like the reasoning behind the skill. So when you bring your prompts, okay, the reason why we also got the output is because our initial prompts forced our prompt engineering skill to like to clean it up a bit. So as you can see, the aesthetic, the color palette, and the topography from our original prompts forced our skill to make the final prompt to create such a website. But if we had let's say we create a skill that will create a website, and we test the same prompt and see the output.
Okay, so Asha, as you're doing this, I think there's something they're saying in the chat, and I agree with it, that it all goes down to the prompts. And the more generic your prompt is, the more generic the output you'll get. I've seen, again, I created a prompt engineering skill, so I really took time to create it, because what it does is that it ensures that whatever I get from whichever LLM is not generic. So technically, what they're saying in the comments, I do agree with it. And so again, Emmanuel, to answer you, that is why we got a generic output, because the skill we created, again, it was just for demonstration, but it was very shallow. So we didn't give it enough context for it to give us a unique output. Yeah. So Asha,
that is,
okay.
That is in order. I'm saying that is in order. I think the baseline is that you need to like create a skill with very good prompts. Of course, the AI itself will help you get good prompts, and then you can work around that. I also saw someone mentioning earlier about adding, things like brand colors when maybe working with designs and stuff. So I think that should also support having a unique output.
Yeah. And actually, something else, there's another feature in Claude called Claude Design. Actually, in Claude Design is actually specifically for design, but I think we'll cover that in another webinar. So consider this your homework. So after this webinar, I want you guys to go and look into Claude Design, because again, Claude Design is literally the model. We call it a model, or rather, it's a new update in Claude that is specific to designing. So I think you guys need to look into that, Claude Design. So Asha, where are we?
It's creating the skill. So wait for a few minutes. Also, skills are also important, especially when you're working with agents on Claude. Also, a very important thing in Claude is this .md files. This .md carry a lot of weight in Claude, because, for example, in agents, the .md acts like the personality. So for someone also, if you've worked with OpenClaw, the .md file is like the personality. They have in OpenClaw, there's a file called soul.md, which is the personality of your agent. So these .md files are very important. Also, if you want to, let's say, if you have a skill that it's not performing well, the first place to look at is your .md file. Anyone who has a question? What's the difference between a skill and a project? Okay, a skill is this one. A skill is like a set of rules that maybe you are, let's say, let's go back to the example of Canva design. So our Canva skill contains a set of rules that each time you call on you want to design something on Canva, it has to obey those rules. A project, let's say you're designing something, you're creating something using Claude. So a project can have multiple charts. You, like, what can I explain it? Let's say you're working on a platform. On one chart, you tell Claude to work on maybe the front end. The second chart can go to working on the back end. Those two charts are inside that project. So essentially, a project is like a combination of charts that are working towards the same thing. That's a project. Yeah, that's what dream is. Who else has a question?
Okay, I want to ask about the website. The website that you created, is it on the next session ama tusha create tunaipeleka wapi?
Okay, if you, let's say on Claude, if you create a website or something, it's saved in artifacts. So as you can see, these ones are the ones I've created. So if your artifacts are full, it won't save. But in the charts, you can come to the website, this one. You can download the code and maybe push it to GitHub or let it stay in your computer until the next time you need it. But if you're using Claude Code, you can probably push it to GitHub from there.
Okay.
Anyone else, the question?
Oh, so just something else to add. Now, the same way we have connectors on Claude, we also have connectors in ChatGPT. And the whole idea behind connectors is that these AI companies, they want you to have all your apps, all your important apps at one place. They want to create what we are calling personal intelligence, where ChatGPT literally knows all about your work, about your personal life. It knows your Spotify playlist. It knows, the emails you're getting. So the race towards personal intelligence is very important to these companies. That's why both ChatGPT and Claude have connectors. So the same way we've covered connectors in Claude, there's also connectors in ChatGPT. So again, after this, in your free time, go and look into connectors in ChatGPT, and then draw similarities and differences between the two. Then you see where it's safer, or rather where you prefer to connect your Gmail. Do you prefer to connect your Gmail to your Claude or to your ChatGPT? It will be up to you. Yeah. Are there any other questions as we conclude? Mko sawa? Good resource for skills. Okay. So Dennis has sent something in the chat. Okay. Emmanuel?
I'm saying niko sawa. Niko sawa.
Okay.
I'm seeing a question by Stanley. You're into automation. So with automation...
Not automation, animation.
Oh, animation. I've seen. Okay, it depends on which tool you use in connectors. Depends. Which tool do you probably use? And is it self-hosted? Is it?
Okay, so I think let me just help you answer Stanley. Stanley, I think one way to do it is you can create a Claude skill that helps you create a storyboard for animation stories. So if you have an idea for an animation that you have in your mind, you can always refer to this skill, and it will help you expand that idea into a full storyboard. So let's say, for example, you're thinking of maybe a young boy in Africa who is trying to create an AI solution to a problem in his village. And you want to create an animation on that. So if you just type that, and then you have already created a very, very, very customized skill that helps you write storyboards. You can just summon that skill, and it will help you expand that small idea into a full storyboard. So I think that would be a good place to start. Asha?
Also, maybe also connecting your platform to Claude can also help Claude get some context in when it's helping you creating those storyboards. Maybe your design language and all that.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope Stanley, you're good. I think our to wako sawa. I think we can take the last question and then we can conclude if there's any.
Also, I can add one thing.
Okay.
As you can see here, they are like these are popular apps that can connect to Claude. That doesn't mean that they are limited. These are the limits. In our next session, we'll also learn how to connect void-coded apps to Claude, which is most people want to learn, because when you connect your app to Claude, it can also help you get errors before you maybe push the code to you start, maybe you advertise the app so people can use it. So Claude can also help you while you're coding your apps.
Okay. Are we good now? Tuko sawa sasa? Tuko sawa sasa. Akinyi, are we good?
Tuko sawa.
Tuko sawa, very nice. Lemi, tuko sawa?
Okay, let me ask.
Okay.
Kama for example, I have a APIs kuna zenye tulikuwa tumepewa that link from ilikuwa tumepewa na Crowd. If I want to use those APIs na maybe nataka kuzitumia from Crowd to another like Canva, maybe to create pictures, and hizo APIs tunaweza zitumia aje? Can you show us how to go about them?
Can you repeat the question?
Okay, for example, we have APIs. For now, I have APIs in my Crowd account, and I want to use them here. Sasa maybe nataka kuziconnect na Canva.
Oh, okay. Okay. If you put your API on any AI platform, let's say you paste your API on maybe Claude or ChatGPT, it will tell you to rotate that API, so it's not usable. But if you have Claude APIs, you can probably use it in Cloud Code. You know Cloud Code, the Cloud CLI.
Mm.
So let me show you something. Let me show you something real quick. Okay, so if you probably use Claude Code, this version of Claude, when you are setting it up, you can use your APIs here. So when you use your APIs here, you can also create an MCP for Canva. So each time you come to Claude Code, you're able to connect to Canva. So your APIs are not useless. It's just that in the app, the one that most people use, it's not probably useful. So you need to install Claude Code, which is you can use on. You can come to Windows PowerShell and just say you enter the command Claude, then it opens Claude Code. As you can see, it's using my account, but the other way is to use an API. So you're still sorted.
Oh, so if I have a Pro, it won't use the Pro. It would just use the APIs direct from the account. Oh, okay.
Okay, with Claude Code, you can use your API or your account.
Okay.
Yeah, it has that option.
Yeah, now I get it.
Bella, close the door. Funga mlango. Nakuja. Close the door.
The question.
Funga mlango. Funga mlango nakuja. Okay guys, so kama hakuna swali, I think Asha we can conclude. Then okay Asha, yeah, let's conclude. So as far as the next webinar is concerned, I think I'm gathering materials on AI and design. So basically you see how everyone nowadays anatengeneza watu siku hizi wanatengeneza poster za ChatGPT kila mahali, and now it's becoming too obvious and too monotonous. You can easily tell hii poster ni ya ChatGPT, hii poster ni ya Gemini, wengine hata watoi kale kastaka Gemini hapo chini. So inakaa very obvious ni AI. So how do you bypass that? How do you make sure that whatever you create, even if it's AI generated, it is not very obvious that it's AI generated? Yeah. So I think that is what I'll cover next. I'll give you updates in the community within maybe this coming week when that will be. In the meantime, this week I have a few things happening. Kitu ya kwanza hapa, I need you guys to let me send something in the chat. Kama haujanivotia, you know the poll closes in I think in 4 hours. Manze, kama hujanivotia, kindly I've sent the link in the chat. Kindly vote for me. The awards are being held on Friday. So if I bring this home on Friday, you know, essentially I'll network with a lot of people in the industry. So, you know, an award is validation. So it means I'll be able to bring on professionals here. We'll talk about very key things in AI, and that will be for your benefit as a community. So I look at it that way, and I see that, I mean, ninyi mtanisaidia. You know, it's more of a collaboration whereby I'm able to bring on people, and you know, you get to support me. I bring on more professional people. So again, kindly, if you haven't voted, please vote. Asha, let's conclude.
Thank you guys for coming. Next time maybe we'll learn about creating your own MCPs and creating agents in Claude. But until then, stay safe. Thank you.
Okay. Good night, guys, and I'll send you the link to this. I'll send you the link to this webinar once I'm through with it. Yeah. So good night, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.